points on him. Yeah.
They certainly have no shortage of that, but they spell them better than the Chinese shirts that don't make sense.
Yes, that's
true. A lot of misspellings on those to the point where it's like, whoa. Less misspellings here.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it makes it a little bit better for the shirts. That's my fashion tips for today. Artosis fashion tips.
I think that's your fashion ruling of the day.
Yeah, my ruling.
Yeah.
Also, red shoes go with everything.
Yeah. Well, you didn't wear your red shoes today, Artosis.
They got super wet when it was raining the other day.
Oh, man, yeah. There's nothing worse than when your feet get really wet and you have shoes on and you're like, oh, God.
Yeah. Getting trench foot.
Get trench foot, just living my nerd life, you know? You know what happened to Tasteless? Trench foot, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Serious stuff.
Didn't he listen to Lieutenant Dan and Forrest Gump? I mean, come on.
That's funny.
Robo build here for Zest.
Is he going to scout that a second probe? I don't know. Just went down that far.
I'm sorry. I said Lieutenant. I'm suddenly thinking of Bubblegum Shrimp.
That's your favorite restaurant.
Artosis always makes fun of me because whenever we go to BlizzCon, there's like Anaheim is such a weird area. It's like right next to Disneyland, and there's like just nothing but hotels and like a few weird restaurants. And so somehow we always end up going to Bubblegum Shrimp, even though I don't like it that much.
It's pretty good food.
It's okay.
Yeah. And it's close.
And then when we're at Bubblegum Shrimp, they're like, so you know how? So you have this sign come down. It's run, Forrest, run if you don't need us here. But then stop. I'm like, stop. Listen, I know. I've been coming to BlizzCon for like 12 years.
Yeah.
Oh, he got spotted too.
Well, we're going to run from that. If the Immortal pops out, you're in some serious trouble. Stargate on the way, double battery, so he's definitely not going to die.
You know what I'm going to do before BlizzCon? I'm going to go rewatch Forrest Gump, and I'm going to win the quiz at Bubblegum Shrimp.
You are pretty good at the quiz, actually.
Yeah, but this time I'm going to get everything down.
But actually, the reason why I always make fun of you for that it's your favorite, is one year you and I went there and ate, and then like people got in and you called them up and to meet up, and they were already there, so you had to go down and eat again.
And then more people came and they're like, well, I'm like, where are you guys? Like a Bubblegum Shrimp. I'm like, I'm just going to be eating a Bubblegum Shrimp all day.
Yeah.
We're all meeting up at BlizzCon.
That was funny. That's why it's your favorite restaurant.
Actually, you know what's really fun to do is to say, I want to take the quiz, and then when they come over, make it really uncomfortable. Act like really disinterested when they're asking you the quiz for Bubblegum, for Forrest Gump. And what you do is when they say you want to take the quiz, then halfway through the quiz you say, I never watched the movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so he's got a Void Ray to try to help defend this.
And a second Void Ray on the way. I actually really like this type of defense, to be honest, against this. Like, if you get your Void Rays and you do not lose them, you eventually will hit a critical mass that is very scary for this
it can
Robo
actually
build.
seesaw totally back.
Yeah. Now, if you end up losing Void Rays, though, you can really get into trouble.
Yep, but he's got a well-positioned Void Ray here. He's got a battery to help cover that.
Of course, Zest is the one that can expand at home at any time. So there's kind of like this almost a little bit of pressure going on. Look at that. The Adepts with the double Void.
Ooh. He's coming down.
Yeah.
Really good control here with the War Prism. Zest just staying out of range. One Void Ray getting low on HP. It does go down.
Yeah, a lot of damage output from this Void. He actually gets the Prism.
Oh my
That's
God.
pretty huge.
And there's still 2 Immortals on the ground. If he can target down these Stalkers in time.
More Stalkers coming down right now, and it looks like Deer has done it.
Yeah, even though Deer lost the Void Rays. Oh, so sick.
Very good micro there. That was really interesting, especially shading the depths on top of everything. They don't take as much damage, so great job there. And now gets to unpower this Robo. So they're sitting about the same amount of probes, a few more units for Deer, and obviously he's still got his tech up. Definitely have to look at nice advantage here for Deer.
Well, that was really well done. What is going on with Deer here? He's having a full 180 today, Artosis.
Yeah, no, he's playing nice. Playing nicely. Well, I liked the call for the Void Ray, and that was like an excellent jumping upon Zest with the shaded Adepts. I haven't seen people deal with it exactly like that with Voids. Normally, I feel like it's a more prolonged micro battle with Stalker Void Ray.
Right.
But that seemed really cool, and he nailed it, because that could have swung in the other direction a little bit, but he had his Guardian Shield and everything. It just kind of worked out. Feels like he's got that practice down very well. Wouldn't be surprised if we see more of that as the counter to the Proxy Robo when you find it.
All right, the Oracle going to go ahead and gun down these Adepts here. What? Okay,
Is it though?
Yeah. Now, Phoenixes are continuing to be produced in secret here.
Yeah. That's actually a very smart counter here as well, because whatever your opponent has out of his Stargate, he's probably not making Phoenixes. But the Phoenixes are going to be able to counter. If you get up in Phoenixes in Stargate for Stargate, you have that advantage. But Deer is making his Nexus. He's got nice probe advantage right now. 4 to 5 probes up.
What do you think about this high-speed adept chase, Artosis?
It's really exciting. I want to watch it more. And I'm sad it's over.
There was no more map for him to run to.
Yeah.
That's just it, Artosis. You know, all of StarCraft maps are squares. Or diamonds.
Or, rectangles. There's been some circles, too, really. Some pretty bad circles. They aren't like perfect circles.
Well, in reality, the mini-map is always just a square.
That's true. The mini-map is a square
mini-map is
box.
always a square, yes.
Remember, we had like a roundish map that had air blockers, so it really was round in the playing field.
No, I remember that. Okay, Oracle goes down.
Look at that, Deer double expanding.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised by that. Let's see how this works out, though. I mean, if you look on the production tab, there's a forge being made, so that tends to indicate that Protoss isn't, Zest in this case, is not going to be attacking out right away with his ground army. He wants to get +1.
Well, I think both of these make sense. If you go Phoenixes, you're not going to kill your opponent, generally.
Not in a big fight right away, no.
They're more of a long-term unit. You gain value over time, gain little advantages over time. So to get the forge with that makes sense. And when Deer saw that it was Phoenixes being made, he realized, oh, I mean, you can't really pack a punch here. So why not just make a third Nexus? So I think some really smart stuff on both sides. Deer does have that SCV, or that probe advantage, rather. And with the additional Nexus coming up, okay, there's finally the Nexus from Zest. It does feel like Zest Phoenixes have a lot to do, because Deer just kind of has the advantaged economy right now. I'm very interested in the exact unit comps that we'll see. Look at this. Blink is on the way for Deer. He has a lot of Stalkers right now. Do you go for a massive attack? Just mass Blink Stalkers?
I don't know. I mean,
sometimes it sounds stupid, but sometimes stuff like that can work.
Well, Blink Stalkers are funny because if you can get the right engagement with them, things snowball. I mean, they can be manipulated in such a way, and you're also organically answering the threat of the Phoenixes as you do this as well. But I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think that would be something that's supposed to work if it's like 3 base versus 3 base on this map.
Yeah. Maybe he's just getting it to, combat the Phoenixes. He already has a lot of Stalkers, so obviously you want Blink with that. But this feels like a game where we're going to get to really high levels of tech. Like, not just Archon, Charge, Immortal, but probably a little bit more, maybe Disruptor or something like that. Because I don't think that they can actually... a lot of times games just end on 2 base or 3 base, but not on Thunderbird in PvP, and not in a situation like this. So you've got to add more tech. You can't just make the base ground army.
Well, the Phoenixes are becoming more and more obsolete. I mean, they can possibly use them in the final big fight, to remove Immortals and stuff like that. But
and if he does go into Disruptors, obviously that's pretty helpful.
Yeah. But I don't think they're going to be used very much more here to kill probes.
Especially with Blink out. You're going to take a lot of damage.
And so we're going into a real late game here, PvP, which is good because we've had a lot of super short PvPs. So I'm very happy to cast a long one here.
Totally. Some nice continued harassment. Triple feedback on that Phoenix. How much he cared. Flies right out of
Consider him fed, Artosis. More like throw grok, right, man?
Throw grok. It's very true.
Yeah.
That's what we're always calling him, is throw grok. You should really make all the nicknames for people.
Yeah. These nicknames are not going to write themselves, Artosis.
No.
So it's 5 gates coming down now for Zest. He's really powering up on 3 bases. He might actually attack in as Deer is taking his 4th. Deer has more supply, but it's actually in workers here. for the new base.
A lot of it is stalkers as well. So as your mortal count goes up, you definitely gain power. But because Deer did get a bunch of his economy going a little bit earlier, I could see him doing more of a swarmy approach to this, right? Archon, Zealot, Stalker for the most part. And in that situation, you can fight off these immortal-based armies with a good spread. And this is kind of a wide open area out as we get a little bit more into the middle. What I'm trying to say, I guess, is that I don't feel like either side can or should attack yet. I feel like slightly slower fourth for Zest because he's more immortal heavy and has Phoenixes, so he can't take it at the same time as Deer. But if he just slowly but surely expands while maximizing his supply and chrono boosting out upgrades, his army will scale better. So what does Deer do to fight against that?
That's a good question. Ooh, DTs.
Yeah, Dark Shrine.
Oh, nice. He's going to be able to get rid of this observer inside of his main.
Best use of F2 all day.
Yeah. Get the entire army over there to get that observer.
Get up there, everybody.
Some zealots running around underneath it. I'm like, oh.
It'd be hilarious to attack him right at that moment when his army's like stuck in between the two gates.
Now, it just so happens that Deer's army is on the other side of the map, ready to threaten the fourth. So if he does Zest does a mass warp in here, this is going to be a problem. But he denies that.
Yeah, you can't fight up this ramp. You cannot do it. It
Deer
cannot
says,
be done.
Watch, hold my beer, Ortosis.
There's no way. He has to run away. It's a good. It was a good cancel on the fourth. that was strong. That was good. But look at that. Zest gets out of here.
Not as big as he thought back there.
Brings him down to the same probe supply here. Still harassing with those 4 Phoenixes. Those have really gotten a lot done.
I want to point out, I think he should have had some of his army stay back and try to stop this army from going down the ramp. That might have been the actual play that he should have done here, because he just let him go down, and now he's going to get a fourth. But I think had he recalled a minimal amount to chase that away and then kept that position, I don't think Zest gets this 4th base.
Okay. As long as you are happy to run away as soon as Zest calls you, I would say that's a really good move, you know? As soon as Zest is like, oh no, that's not enough to stop me.
Yeah.
Okay, so the army supplies that we're getting to, Deer cannot attack into this. Zest has maxed out at this point. And he's on 6 immortals against 0 mortals. So this is getting very tricky for Deer. Ah, look at that. Okay, so Deer is tech amp in multiple ways. I believe he's going to grab a mothership here and go into Disruptor. So there's the mothership. This army of Zest, he played this so beautifully well. Like, Deer did some great moves, but the fact that Zest just gave up his expansion, sat here and maxed out, that's the great equalizer when your army scales better. Oh, and he's actually going into Colossus instead.
Yeah, 2 of them at a time actually coming out now.
Yeah,
okay, +3 is just finished. Maybe if he gets a good angle here, he can actually topple this.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that Zest can kill him.
The army's in this string formation here. Okay, the Archons are starting to curve around. Deer with a lot of Archons here.
It looks like that Prism, I don't know if that Prism's really that meaningful, but the Immortals are really the ones doing the work here.
Yeah.
Look at that. Just slaughtering.
And there's so many Archons in the way, those Immortals are never going to take any damage, but Zest, sticking with those DTs today, does push through. I'm sorry, that's Deer actually sending those DTs in there. And he's actually going to try to kill some probes, but this is just too much army. I mean, Zest is going to flatten Deer here.
Yeah.
And we're going to be...
Yeah, he's super duper dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a really cool game, though. This was I really liked this game. And I think that they both showed, excuse me, some of the power and timings of both their styles here. It was tough because he did keep... those Phoenixes alive. I feel like Disruptors are probably your best value in a situation like that, but if he had been given more time and gotten out 4 or 6 Colossus, maybe he can defend against that.
GG.
Yeah.
All right, well, Zest showing that right now he is the guy in this group that has the handle on PvP, but Deer still has 2 shots to turn this around. Well, he has to win both of those shots.
He has to win both of those shots, that's right.
I thought Deer played that much better. Well, he definitely played it better than the first PvP series these guys had, but
yeah, I think he played it well. caught off guard by how many blink stalkers he made right off the bat. I loved the speed of the third Nexus. I think that was fantastic.
It was fun to theory craft what he might do, but it definitely was not a cleaner play than what Zest was doing.
Well, Zest's move was fundamentally easier to pull off as well. You're increasing your tech, and if they attack your fourth, you just move up your ramp.
Yeah.
And you're going to, at max supply, there's no